343 Industries has announced that Halo Infinite's Forge and co-op campaign features will be delayed to after the game launches. Make sure to stick around for the whole video to understand how these changes will affect the possible performance of Halo Infinite at launch and beyond. What's going on, everyone? My name is DannyGG, and today I have a very special guest joining me, and it is Mr. Infinite Forges. If you don't know him, he is a very talented Halo Forge content creator, and also recently he's been teaching himself Unreal Engine and creating his own Halo levels inside of it, which is honestly just unreal. But all jokes aside, I wanted to invite him on the channel to get his take on the big news with Halo Infinite's Forge being delayed, since that is going to be one of his main avenues for content creation. Personally, Forge is one of my favorite game modes in Halo, and some of my fondest Halo memories are just me messing around in Forge and Halo 3 and Halo Reach with some friends, whether we're trying to kill each other or make like a Forge battle, or actually make a serious map for something. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the discussion with Infinite Forges here. It's about 10 minutes long, so make sure to stick around, sit back, relax, and let me know what you think in the comments below about this conversation with Infinite Forges. Thanks, guys.
So, just discussing the actual information itself, what were your thoughts?
Overall, I don't think it's great news for the game. But what I've been telling a lot of people is, like, think back to the flight just like 3 weeks ago, and a lot of people were having a really great time. I had a really great time with it, and that was just such a small slice of the game, of the multiplayer. I mean, the game itself is solid. The mechanics, the gunplay, the weapon sandbox, like there's a lot of really good stuff there that we only got a small slice of. So no doubt the multiplayer is going to be able to stand on its 2 feet alone, which, you know, is kind of what the market is right now. You know, you got Apex is strictly multiplayer game. There's not even private lobbies. There's no campaign or anything like that.
Right.
Warzone, you know, who gives a crap about Call of Duty campaign? Battlefield 2042 just said, fuck it, man. Like, we're just going all in on multiplayer. They don't even give a fuck about campaign anymore.
Yeah.
Which, this is probably why, because there are technical issues that come up, which, you know, as time goes on, people expect the game development cycles to stay the same, like, oh, like no more than 3 years, like that's how long it takes to make a game. But the technology doesn't always match. You know, the challenges are harder than the technology can advance at a certain rate, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of good stuff in the multiplayer, which will be good, but ultimately it is disappointing that without Forge, that is really the lifeblood of replayability for custom games for me, and custom games in general, which is really what makes Halo unique, and, you know, apart from Apex and Call of Duty and all these other things. So it's disappointing that the first wave of people experience this game at launch. They're going to miss out on what I think sets Halo apart from everything else. Like, multiplayer is great, but Forge and customs is the meat and potatoes for me. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I know obviously you're the Forge guy, so lay it on me.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? It's like most people would think I'm like really stressed about it. I'm really not. I'm kind of actually too relaxed about it. Because the thing is, like, yeah, we're about 9 months away, maybe a year away from Forge, right? I would say. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is, dude. But the thing is, like, what people don't realize is that when we get into Halo Infinite and that launches, what's going to happen is that we're talking 2 months, or sorry, two seasons, right? Until we get Forge. 1 season until we get co-op campaign. If you look at the stats, actually, not a lot of people play co-op campaign, but I understand as to why it's an issue, because, like, for me and my brother, we wanted to play it together, right? We're not going to be able to, at least for 3 months. And to not be able to Forge is obviously a detriment to the channel or whatever. But, like, the thing is, I'm doing Unreal content and whatnot. Like, I adapt to whatever situation I have. Like, it's totally fine. It's not an issue. But when it comes to the reality, it's like we're talking 2 seasons. It's 6 months. Sure, it sounds like a long time, but it's a brand new Halo game. It's a solid multiplayer experience. We have a battle pass system that is full of a ton of content. We have campaign itself, and campaign you could probably play through, you know, in X amount of hours, whatever. But I'm sure it's something that you're gonna want to revisit a few times, right? It's much better. It's a much better campaign than Halo 5 was, right? It's got a lot of emotion and it's got a lot of mystery and it's a brand new world and whatnot. So there is a lot of stuff to do. Is the news about Forge and the news about co-op campaign like an absolute bummer? Of course it is. No one's gonna beat around the bush with that, but I'm not like totally upset. One thing I know for certain is that this upcoming Forge is incredibly advanced, even compared to Halo 5. I don't know if with the delay, if they're gonna take that time. It's likely not to add anything. It's likely to actually cut things or just to refine what's already there. People need to remember that this isn't like this isn't basic Halo Reach or like basic Halo 3 or Halo 2. This is not a traditional Forge mode. Like this is gonna be something more in line with an actual map editor, in my opinion. It takes time. It takes time. And yes, it would have been nice to have it at launch, but it is what it is. I'm not going to stress over a video game, I'm just going to have fun and create cool content for people. Also, there's no point in stressing over something that you can't change, right?
So I don't think anything is going to be changed about this decision. And
no, not at all.
It's clearly a Microsoft decision. Like from a business standpoint, which, business, whatever, capitalism, bad, whatever you want to say. Microsoft wants to make Halo their big game again. They want to even sell Xbox, sell Game Pass, all that. And Halo Infinite was supposed to do that in 2020. And obviously 343 pushed back really hard and said, if we launch this game in 2020, it's going to fail. It's going to be shit. So we're all glad, at least I think most people are glad that the game was delayed a year, for the better from what we've seen and kind of all the development shit we've heard that's going on behind the scenes. But at this point, I don't think Microsoft as the overlord wants to take any more losses on it, and they know it's a live service and they're saying, yep, just send it out in pieces. But
I mean, I don't agree with that model, but the thing is,
yeah, no, I don't either.
From the gaming perspective, it's not a great model. From a business perspective, it's a phenomenal model. Because what happens is you're going to launch something, people are going to grind the first 2 seasons of multiplayer, they're going to have a great time. People are going to complain and whatnot, but then they're going to play the BTB flight sooner than later. Then everything's going to be all great and awesome again. There's going to be a lot of new content and whatnot. People will be happy about it. And it's a strategic time when they drop this, Gamescom is around the corner. I'd be surprised if we don't see anything. Yeah, once the game comes out, everyone's going to play it and you'll get these things over time. It's unfortunate, truly. But the reality is, if player base and interest in the game drops off after 6 months and everything was there at launch, then what do you do? But if player base and interest drops off and then you release a brand new mode, right? And then like another mode a little bit further down the line, if it's like Forge that you just dropped, it'll garner a lot of attention and people will come back. So that's what's great about live services, that you can always keep a consistent base, of people. But yeah, I'm not agreeing it's the best just from a pure gaming perspective though. But from business perspective, it's a lucrative, awesome game plan.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not super into the live service model, but for certain games, I think it's worked out really well. I'll just use Apex as an example. That's always my example because I play a ton of Apex. I've played a shit ton of Apex, and it's a live service for what it is. It is a battle royale, and then recently they added the arenas mode, which is great. But it doesn't have all those expectations that Halo has, and that's a topic for another day. But the thing with Halo is that it's in a really unique position because they're pushing it as a live service. They've been saying that for years. It's no surprise, obviously. Now, they say launch is only the beginning, blah, blah, blah. But it's also being sold as a full game. They marketed at E3 this year as, the epic campaign and the free-to-play multiplayer. So when people were freaking out about no co-op campaign, I mean, that definitely sucks, and there's a million reasons why that sucks. But if you have no friends, unironically, I wasn't going to play co-op campaign anyway. Okay, there's a small majority, but what I thought was, okay, then what are you paying for? Like, what's the game? Like, how are they justifying this being a Game Pass title and a paid, potentially $60 title, if it's just a unfinished campaign that has another chunk shipping in 3 to 5 months or whatever? So I think that is kind of where a lot of the tension is coming from, at least in my mind. Like, okay, if the multiplayer is coming out and it's free to play and they're gonna roll it out as a live service, you know, you're owed nothing. It's a free game, and it's a free game. That's it. Should it be complete? Yes, but it's free. There's nothing you can do. It's not like I paid for it, so I demand product quality.
Right.
So I think the campaign part is a trickier issue, but I don't know. It's a tough situation. It's not great. I don't know. You have any comment on that side of things?
I mean, the thing is, it's not a great situation, but it is the situation that we have. So personally for me, man, I'm happy to have an audience, and with that audience, I can essentially do whatever I want creatively, you know, and just be able to push that information out. You know, the reality is, there's so many different avenues for all of us. Just we got to learn to adapt and kind of just grow. As for not just content creators, but people in general, yeah, dude, like there's so much love for custom games and overall just Forge in general, and man, it's a bummer just for the community, but I truly do believe, regardless, I'm just gonna say it, like, this is a really fun game, you and I know.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna have a blast. We are simply just gonna have a blast. That's it. I can't wait to experience BTB. Hopefully I get into that flight, you know, and I'm just taking it like a step at a time, a day at a time. That's all it is.
You didn't get your flight email yet?
Give me a break. Yeah, no, but I feel like this flight's gonna be this flight is larger than the last one, right? So the likelihood,
I said that somewhere.
yeah, the likelihood that we get back into it again is gonna be it'll happen. But I'm excited to hear the sound effects of the vehicles and.
Oh yeah, I want to see what they feel like with this overhauled vehicle system they've been telling us all about.
Yeah. That's gonna be super interesting. But see, like sometime sooner than later, I'll probably be releasing the level that I've been making in Unreal for people. You know, so
yeah, hell yeah, man! Super hyped to see that.
It's gonna be fun. Took a lot of work, you know, but it taught me a lot. And man, oh man, I'm very grateful for all the lessons I learned.
All right, Infinite Forges. Well, I want to thank you again for joining me today for this discussion, and it's great to hear your positivity with everything, even though, you know, Forge is gonna be your thing, and it's you know, coming a little later than we hoped. But guys, you got to go check out Infinite Forge's Unreal content. It's unironically unreal. Like, you got to see what he's making, and he's got his own playable Halo Infinite themed level coming out. It's gonna be crazy. I'll make sure to make a video about it. Hoping my computer can run it. It's so sick. But
I'm trying to optimize it right now as much as I can.
Hell yeah, man! Infinite Forge is a great content creator if you don't know him, but go like him, like his shit, and yeah.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate you having me.